I can speak for people for like my age group. We want to own property, big dog, and the people like myself and my friends and everything, we're working on that, saving up to make those moves. But I feel like it's a huge thing that they don't really teach us when we're kids. I
Right.
mean, I'm sure even you can attest to that. Like you learned all this yourself.
Yeah, from my experience, seeing the financial crisis go on when I was young and heard a lot of people I know, adults, I was like, damn, I don't want to be in those shoes. And essentially, somehow I became an agent. And what we're seeing is it's getting harder and harder to become a homeowner, especially the American dream for young people. A lot of them are
Yeah.
kind of out of luck, especially people under 30. The average home buyer, first time home buyer, is 40 years old now, is what they say. It used to be in the 20s at some point. So like every decade, it gets more difficult with everything, inflation too.
Of
Gold
course.
is at
Back
the
in the
all-time high. Silver is too. It's obviously difficult. Inflationary pressures everywhere, but that's just the reality of things. And I think the average home price, existing home price in the country, is about 410,000, or it might be the median. But either way, that's the average or median.
Interesting.
Yeah. However, where we live here in Southern California. We're not seeing that. We're seeing a minimum of 800,000 to about a million one
God
for a
damn.
starter home.
What's crazy is I didn't even know when I sent you like, oh, let's see about a $400,000 home. I didn't even know that was like the medium or something. It's not
In
like
the
I did.
country. That was good. Good
Right,
on
right,
you.
right.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I was just like, oh, what sounds kind of reasonable for a 3 bedroom home is about $400,000, like almost half a
Right.
mil. In theory, should sound reasonable.
You're right. And you're coming from a perspective of someone that doesn't really pay attention to housing. You're not a realtor. You
Nope.
don't own a house yet, but you will.
I'm just a human, that would need a realtor like yourself to show me all of these things and tell me all of these things. But like I said, it just
Hmm.
makes sense. 400,000 for a 3 bedroom home, you
Right.
know.
Yeah, I think in Orange County, you're looking at 1.1. Here in LA, you're looking like at around 865 for a first time home. Talking about like single family, anyways, not like a condo. You
Yeah,
can get something less expensive, but I did a search because you were saying earlier, let's look at $400,000 homes
yeah.
in the county of LA. There's only 103 homes, or maybe 107. I think I saw homes at 400,000 or less. However, all of them, I would say the majority of them, are located in Lancaster. I don't know if you are familiar where Lancaster is.
No, 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 I'm
Okay,
not.
that's really North LA in the middle of nowhere. A lot of people don't really live there, unfortunately, because of it's like desert and it's kind of like the economy is very. There's like no economy essentially, but a lot of people don't
What kind
want
of
to live there.
how desert are we talking? Like how deserted are we
It's
talking
pretty
here?
deserted. It's pretty deserted. I've only been there maybe once or twice. I don't really
Do
plan
you,
to go out there or
do,
want to go out there.
do you remember the first Hulk movie with Eric Bana?
Yes,
That's like there's like people living out there in the desert like that. Like he like lived out there. I don't know if you
I
remember
don't
that, but
remember
that's
that
what I'm.
scene. Mm-mm.
Yeah, it's just like they're like nuclear testing. So that's what I'm imagining
Yeah.
when you're
Oh,
saying.
yeah, yeah. I don't know, dude. I don't know if it's that cool. I feel like it's not as cool because crime is really bad out there, unfortunately, from what I
Yeah.
understand.
Oh, interesting. It's a bad spot. It's
Well, it
bad.
can be.
Bad.
I'm sure there's pockets where it's nice. You know who used to
Yeah.
live there and he unfortunately passed away? The young guy in Backstreet Boys, the young kid, the Backstreet Boy blonde hair guy.
I I couldn't tell you
Okay,
their
well
names.
he's on Vlad TV. He's very makes these audacious comments about the industry and what how
Oh
evil
yeah.
it is. But anyways,
Oh yeah.
in the city of LA, there's only 3 homes under 400,000.
Is it Aaron Carter?
Yes, that's him.
I'm like, oh, I wouldn't know the name.
And you knew it, dude.
That's funny, man.
He had a
Oh yeah,
nice
he
house
passed
out there.
away.
He unfortunately passed away in that house
Yeah.
in
Well, it looks like
Lancaster.
they got him. I don't know about passed away. It looks like they got him, but whatever.
That's another story, dude. That's conspiracy route that we're not taking today, I don't think. But in any case, yeah. So you only got 3 to 4 homes in the city of LA under four hundred
Crazy.
thousand, and it's not like the best area per se. You're talking about like a 900 square foot home or smaller on a main street, and there's
Yeah.
like a liquor store next door or a huge apartment building in certain places of LA that you do not want to be in at night, essentially. But it might be good to buy it and just ride it out, right? It might be good just to be a homeowner. Orange County, there's zero. There, you won't find
Yeah.
any. So that's where we're at. How about you? Would you feel comfortable living in the city of LA, maybe in like not the hottest spot to be in,
Well,
but own a
that's
four hundred
it's funny.
thousand dollar home?
It's funny we're talking about this right now. I'll give you an example, just because it's kind of relevant. But I was just looking at apartments in the area, and I'll give you an example. Dude, I found something kind of insane. Just to give you a perspective of what we're at, where we're at. I found these little 150 square foot
Wow.
like studios with like a kitchen and a bathroom in it, and it's like that's a pod. Like you
Wow.
will live in the pod and
Yeah.
you will like it, you know. And anyway, definitely not doing
How
that.
much was
But
it? Do you remember?
it was 1100.
Jeez. For that?
Yeah, and just so you know, when I first moved back to Miami after COVID, I found a amazing one bedroom in Miami in Midtown in a brand new building, living like like king, like king shit on some king shit. You know what I mean? Type shit. Okay, 1750,
Wow.
like with
Wait, what
everything.
year was this? I don't know if you
This was 2000.
two two
Oh, 2001. 2000. Sorry, 2021.
Bro, how old are we?
Yeah,
2021.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, the
Sorry, sorry,
prices
sorry.
have skyrocketed since that period. So I imagine it's like 4,000 now
100%.
at least.
Yeah, well, I moved out here because by the end of it, they wanted me to pay 2,700
Right.
for that spot, right?
Right, right,
So,
right.
but anyway, so to give you an
Rental
idea,
laws are
like,
way different in Miami, not to cut you off, but like
of
in
course,
California you can't do that. You can only go up like
yeah, yeah, yeah,
5 to 8%, maybe 10 if you're lucky per year. In Miami, I think it's like a free for all.
I see the rent control thing everywhere.
Everywhere
You
here in
know,
LA,
does not exist in
state of
Miami.
California. Yes, it does
Yeah,
not. It does not. Sorry, what were you
you
saying?
know, no, nothing. So, you could correlate that to home ownership because it's like not only is it getting harder to rent out here as well, but it's like you want to rent something, live in the pod. Like but whatever. I also have two large dogs, so I make it very hard on myself as well. It's not
That's
like
tough.
yeah, I have two large dogs. I'm a large man, so it's not like an easy thing either. But yeah, I will say it's a lot easier to find housing here than it was in Miami
Hmm.
currently. So again, why it makes sense to be out here. But no, it doesn't surprise me that there's no homes for 400,000. I know people looking for homes for 400,000 right now, for three-bedroom homes for 400,000 back home in Florida. And the places are like you said, like in middle of nowhere. I don't think it's bad locations
Hmm.
back in Florida, but they're like in the middle of nowhere. I honestly right now I forgot where it was at,
Well, I could tell you
but
where it is in the state of California. It's the Central Valley, which is like in the interior of California, right? It's like from Bakersfield all the way to like I think it's like Redding, California, and that's like
yeah,
450 miles of just all the way down. You could see homes for 400,000 or less there, but like a lot of people don't want to live there.
right. I mean, a lot of people just want to live close to where it's at, Santa Monica, like right in the heart of Hollywood. For instance, like I was looking at places in Los Feliz. You know what I mean? Like I like that place. Obviously, I've lived there twice now. You know, and I understand why people would like that. Same way why people would want to live in Miami, or Fort Lauderdale, like a booming spot.
Hmm.
I haven't looked out too much. Also, that's the area that I know. So I feel like moving somewhere I know is safe. And
Right.
that's another thing. People want to live where they know, and people can't live where they know now. They can't buy property in their hometown. And, you have
Yeah.
certain people. I won't.
No, name
Yeah.
them, because I know who you're. I already know who you're getting at. I could already tell. Who is it?
No, we don't have to get
It's Ben
into that.
Shapiro.
But there's others as well
No, no, but
that,
like, do you think it's a right for someone, if you were born in a particular area, that's your hometown, do you think you should have a right to be able to still live there?
well, let's repeat what you just said, and let's apply it to the other stuff he
Well, what
believes
did he
in.
say though? Because I didn't. You're the expert when it comes to analyzing Ben.
Person and you can't afford to live here, then maybe you should not live here. I mean, that is a real thing. Yeah, I know that we've now grown up in a society that says that you deserve to live where you grew up, but the reality is that the history of America is almost literally the opposite of that. The history of America is you go to a place where there is opportunity. And if the opportunities are limited here and they're not changing, then you really should try to think about other places where you have better opportunities.
No, I'm not. I don't watch Ben that much. And
I know.
I
You
used to
critique
watch him
Ben.
when I was
You
younger.
critique him,
I critique everybody that
which is good.
I feel doesn't really think about the youth. Like, doesn't think about, you know what? I was thinking about this today. Why do you expect everybody so angry at people like Tucker or Ben or even like people on the left? You know what I mean? Like, it kind of feels like, Trump saying, I'm not going to lower the housing prices because homeowners will lose their value. It's like, okay, well, fuck young people. They're not going to be able to buy homes because the older people that are now going to be living longer than ever because they have access to all this advanced medicine are going to lose their home. We can't let that happen.
Thoughts on housing. You have a lot of people have housing that because we have such a strong time and such a strong market, their houses are very valuable. It's a big part of their net worth, their house. I don't want to knock those numbers down because I want them to continue to have a big value for their house. At the same time, I want to make it possible for young people out there and other people to buy housing. In a way, they're at conflict. In other words, you create a lot of housing all of a sudden and it drives the housing prices down. So I want to take care of the people that have houses that have a value to the house that they never thought possible, that have sort of made them wealthy and happy, and especially in their later years. Got to be careful with that. I want to keep them up. At the same time, I want to make it possible for people to go buy houses.
Those are the people that, and who owns most of the property, mind you. It's BlackRock. Who's
that's not true though.
Okay, but they own a lot.
They own a lot, but
right?
They don't own majority, not even close. But yeah.
Okay, of course, not the majority, but if there's one entity that owned a lot of something, who is that one entity?
Yeah, it'd be like BlackRock, private equity in general.
100%. Blackstone, BlackRock, all these things. Well, Larry Fink, the CEO of BlackRock, is in his administration now. So I'm just saying, I'm not
really.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
He's friendly with them. He's not in the cabinet or anything.
Sorry. I think he's going to one of these. I get confused between them. He's either going now to be part of the World Economic Forum or he's in the Trump administration. It's one of those. Okay. Listen. There's a lot of things like you hear the next day. All of a sudden, you hear like, oh, Dr. Doom is suddenly a part of right. Donald Trump's administration. You're like, oh, fuck. Okay. You know what I mean? So, you get mixed up, but the whole point of this
one thing just to add to that before we veer off from that, it's in the White House. They were asking Trump about housing prices, and he said, what you just said, I don't want to bring house prices down, but he also said at the same time we want to make it more affordable for young people to make it easier for them to afford. So there's like a give and take is what he was saying.
So we'll give them a 50-year mortgage.
Right. Did he say that? I think he did too. And I know he's going for it.
I mean, he did say the 50-year mortgage, but he didn't say it in the same sentence. Okay. It wasn't like, oh, we want to make it more affordable, so we're going to give them a 50-year mortgage. But that is what they're saying. And so what I was getting at is that all these people like Tucker, Ben, I mean, Tucker now is starting to pretend like he cares or something, but, Trump included, like everybody in the administration and the entire left wing as well, everybody included, it seems like nobody really gives a shit about like our generation and below, right? Especially below. It seems like they're like, well, who gives a fuck? Like, for some reason, either it's like the world is going to blow up, so they don't matter, or we're going to have robots, so they don't matter. You know what I mean? But if it was like, I had this realization that's like, well, that's why we're so angry. It almost feels like you've casted aside multiple generations of young people and said, screw them. We're going to keep our shit. You know what I mean? And this has never been done before because there's never been a technology for older people to live the way they've been living this long. You know what I mean? This is a new thing that the oldest people have, held on to. And I'm not a guy here being like, we have to tear down the old. No. That's not what I'm saying. But how do you expect us to not be angry when we're seeing?
Well, I don't want to get too far off from what I'm about to bring up. I want to go back to housing, but I think Ben also said something about retirees need to expect to work longer, right? I think he said something like that.
You will work forever, right?
Well, that's terrible, and I disagree. I disagree with him on kind of both things.
My stepdad's 80 years old. Right. He's still working. You know what I mean?
Right.
Mind you, he does well for himself, but and here's the thing, he's still working because he wants
Wants
to
to,
work.
yeah.
So I understand some people want to work. I get that. But
But
if
let me
he
just
stopped
add,
working,
Theodore Roosevelt added this, right? So people can get a Social Security, live off the rest of the remaining of their life once they hit what, 65 or 60, one of the two. Um,
yeah,
and that at the time, the normal age until you die was like what, 70 maybe, and now it's becoming
yeah,
100. No, not even 100. It's like 88 or something. Soon enough, we'll be at 100, 105 maybe. I mean,
dude, you and we're gonna live to like 120, dude.
if we're lucky, who knows? I mean, I don't know
We
with all
might
the
even live
cancers
forever.
and
We might even live forever. No,
flus.
dude. I mean, think about how technology advances. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
dude, my
But here's the
stepdad
point
is
though. I'm just trying to say I want to hear about your stepdad, but what I'm
yeah.
trying to get at before I forget is
I'm gonna upload a picture of him when you said that. I want to hear about your stepdad. Just a
you
picture.
should. At 65, they stop working and then they continue to collect checks for the rest of their life for what, 40 more
Yeah,
years
I
if they hit
know.
a. That's terrible because there's not enough young people that can support that pyramid. That's all I
Yeah,
want to say.
it's insane. It's insane. Um, and so we have kind of like almost like this slave labor class of young people where we used to go fight in wars. We used to go do things and create. Now, we still have entrepreneurship and we're creating things, of course. But I'm saying, like, now it's just become like work 9 to 5 to support this
System, yeah.
government. Yeah, this system that we have, which people are like just frothing at the mouth to get rid of. You know what I
I
mean?
will
Like,
say though, I prefer this, as bad as it is, than us going to all these wars and dying in our youth overseas in some ways.
oh well, that's still going on. It's just in
I
a
know.
different way,
Not
right?
us
It's
though as
just
Americans getting drafted, at least not yet. But
not yet. Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, we've had this period of quote unquote peace, but in reality, like it hasn't been peace. There's not, not to sound so green, but there hasn't been so much peace around the world in the last 20, 30 years. You know what I
No.
mean? And
No.
and even in
It's
America,
been proxy wars
here's
for America for the most
no, but
part.
here's the other thing. We have like a war. We were just going to talk about real estate. Now I'm going to talk about this.
We're going
We have
back
like
to
a
your
war.
dad and then real estate, so go ahead.
I was gonna say we have like a war inside of our country, inside of our minds. You understand? This is like a really psychological war where we have people shooting up schools. Like
Or
uh,
shooting up their arms with all the drugs, yeah.
or shooting up their arms, killing each other. Like the government can only psyop so many school shootings. Like that's a mental health problem out there. You know what I mean? Like that's people doing that. You know what I'm saying? There's people shooting up heroin. They're addicted to it. They're shooting up fentanyl. You know what I mean? Like, so we have a mental health war, like think about the TV, think about the phone screens, all these things, and it is a war,
Hmm.
like an information war or a news war or whatever, but it is a war. So we have a different kind of war, and we haven't been drafted to it, but we're like the American people are the casualties of it, is what I wanted to say.